there's an entire chapter of your life that you will never read. The first 3 years, maybe 4. Learning to walk, learning to talk, learning to love the people you love most. And you can't remember a single day of it. Almost no one can. And yet, every one of those days was real. Somewhere there's a photograph, you, maybe 2 years old, laughing in someone's arms. The people who were there remember it perfectly. You lived every second of it, and not a trace of it stayed with you. So where did they go? For most of the last century, science had a tidy answer, and it was wrong. More than a century ago, Sigmund Freud noticed it and gave it a name that stuck: infantile amnesia. The strange fact that almost no adult can remember anything before the age of 2 and only fragments before 6 or 7. And it isn't a gentle fade. The memories don't trail off softly into infancy. They hit a wall. Ask people for the very earliest thing they can dredge up, and on average, it lands around age 3.5. Push past that toward your first birthday, and you find almost nothing. A cliff edge in the middle of your own life. And here is what made it such a puzzle. Those missing years are not empty years. They are the loudest years your brain will ever have. In your first few years of life, your brain is building itself at a speed it will never reach again. More than 1 million new connections between brain cells every single second. You were learning a language from nothing, learning that you were a you, separate from the world, learning faces and fear and love. It is by a wide margin the most important learning of your entire life. So how can the years that made you leave you nothing to remember them by? The old answer was simple. The machinery wasn't ready. A baby's hippocampus, the part of the brain that writes memories down, is still half built. So the story went, the pen wasn't in your hand yet, and that's why the first pages of your life are blank. Comforting. Simple. And, it turns out, not true. Because if those pages were never written, the memories would simply not exist. But that's not what the brain does. Here's the part that changed everything. The same explosive growth that makes those years so powerful is exactly what buries them. In the infant brain, one region floods itself with brand new neurons, a process called neurogenesis, at a rate it will never match again. And neuroscientists Paul Frankland and Josselyn showed something remarkable. Every time the brain adds a flood of new cells to that region, it rewrites the wiring. Think of a memory as a path worn through a forest. Now imagine the forest growing so fast that new trees erupt across the trail overnight. The path isn't destroyed, but the way back to it is gone. In their experiments, when they slowed that flood of new neurons down, the early memories, that should have vanished, stayed. And when they sped it up in an adult brain, memories that should have lasted began to fade. So the forgetting isn't a flaw. It's the cost of a brain growing fast enough to make you, you. Which raises the real question, the one this whole video is actually about. If the growth only buried the path, then what happened to the memories at the end of it? This is where, until very recently, science had to stop and shrug. And then, last year, 4 scientists put a baby in a brain scanner and found something almost nobody expected. In 2025, a team at Yale, led by Turk-Browne, showed images to babies, just 1 year old, while scanning their brains inside an MRI machine. They watched the infant hippocampus, the part everyone assumed was too unfinished to work, light up as each baby saw something new. And here was the tell. The harder that little region worked when a baby first saw an image, the longer the baby stared at it when it appeared again later. Recognition. The baby remembered. The pages were being written all along. The old story that infants simply can't form memories was wrong. They can. They do. From around your first birthday, your brain was writing it all down, which means the problem was never that the memories weren't made. The problem is where they were shelved, somewhere you can no longer reach. They're still in there, And this isn't a hopeful guess. In animals, scientists have found those buried infant memories and switched them back on, reactivating the exact cells that first held them, and watching a memory everyone assumed was gone come flooding back. The pages were never blank. They were written, then shelved somewhere you can't reach, in a hand your adult mind has forgotten how to read. If you're still here, if this landed the way it just landed for me, then you already know this was never really a video about science. It's about the questions we carry quietly and the rare moment one of them finally gets an answer. If you want more of these, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so the next one finds you. Now stay with me, because the honest version of this story has one more thing it has to admit. Now, I want to be honest with you, because you deserve the real picture, not just the beautiful version. This does not mean your first birthday is sitting somewhere, ready to be played back if you only tried hard enough. It isn't. For a human being, we have no reliable key, no proven way to walk back into those rooms at will. Anyone who promises to recover your infant memories is selling something. Memory is far too easily invented for that. What the science says is narrower and stranger, and in a way, more beautiful. The traces are real. They were encoded. Something of those years is in you, beneath the reach of recall, but not beneath the reach of effect. Because here's the thing no one can take from those years. You cannot remember them. But you are, right now, made of them. Every million connections a second was building the platform you have stood on for your entire life. The way you trust or hesitate. The voice that feels like home. The sense, under everything, that you are a someone. All of it was laid down in the years you'll never recall. You don't remember learning them the way you don't remember learning to see. You just look out through them. And the rest? The laugh, the room, the light through a window on an afternoon you'll never get back. You are not the only one there. The years you can't hold on to are held still by the people who were holding you. Your beginning didn't vanish. It just lives now in someone else's memory, which may be the first thing any of us ever learned before we could remember learning anything at all. That we were carried before we could carry ourselves. So the next time you see a photograph of a child you can't remember being, don't look at it as something lost. Look at it as the foundation finally showing its face. If this gave you a gentler way to hold your own beginning, that's the whole reason this channel exists, for the questions we carry but rarely say out loud. Thank you. See you next time.